This is the kitchen table. I am
Hey,
Hodges.
hey, this is Sheridan.
Sheridan, what's good, Sheridan?
Sheridan.
It's your boy Willie T. What's happening, y'all?
What's
Willie
up?
T, what's
Y'all.
happening? We in the building. We are the kitchen table. Trelani is on vacation again this week. We should
Yeah,
be having her back next week, and we will be reunited.
Yes, I'm ready for her to come back, y'all. I need some feminine energy.
Yeah, I miss it too, because you hold it down though, Sheridan. You know what I'm saying? But the both of y'all, it's like double trouble, but
uh-huh.
good trouble.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so this is the kitchen table powered by Phat Vegan. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already, and subscribe to us and follow us on all platforms where you listen to your podcast. The kitchen table is where we sit down at this table and we give you guys an appetizer, entree, dessert, and a to-go box worth of food for thought.
Yes, food for
Yeah.
thought, my favorite kind of. Well, I love food actually, so I might retract that statement, but food for thought.
Food for thought. So what we got for the appetizer today, y'all?
Yeah, so y'all saw what's good with the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
Yes, the
come
Super Bowl
on now.
happened. It's that time of year. This is America. That's what we do.
First of all, it was rigged. I don't care what nobody say. It was rigged.
Ah,
It was rigged. They cheated. They cheated.
You
They
think that
cheated.
shit was rigged?
Bruh, they always rig stuff. It's the storyline, man. They pushing a
yeah,
narrative. Tom Brady. Think about it. This is the first time in history that a home team is playing in the actual city that the team is for. You know,
yeah.
every
Mhm.
year they host a Super Bowl in different cities. This year it
Mhm.
was hosted in Tampa Bay. So the Tampa Bay Buccaneers go there with Tom Brady, who is at the end of his great, illustrious NFL career. They're calling him the GOAT, the greatest of all time. And he's beating, defying the time, father time, and he's doing his thing, right? So he gets to the Super Bowl with his team, and they want to give him this trophy to give him his seventh ring. I believe they're pushing narratives and storylines. It's proven this is entertainment, people, and I feel that it's facts. I don't care what y'all think. What y'all
It's
think?
funny you say that
Okay,
because
okay. How about this? Let me give you an alternative. Just what I think about it.
Go ahead. Let me see what you think about it.
So, just a little quick history blurb. So, my current partner, EJ, I met this man 4 years ago in 2016. I fucking hated sports. I didn't give a fuck about football. I didn't give a
Mm-hmm.
fuck about, well, I kind of cared about it. I always liked basketball because I used to cheer growing up. So, like, and basketball is quick. It's quick and, like, I
Right.
don't know, something about it I enjoy and I
And you see
understand
their
it.
faces too.
Yeah, but baseball, like I did not care about sports. And we had this
Right.
whole bet going on at the beginning of our relationship, like how long it would take me to care about sports. Because if you know EJ, you know this man is a die-hard sports fans. Like
Yeah. Where he
he
at?
played baseball, but he loves just sports in general.
Right. He buy you?
Huh?
He buy you? Is he near
hear
you?
you.
Oh, yeah. You already know.
Man, we're gonna have to get his take when you finish up. I want to get his take on it, but go ahead, Sheridan.
He's a little dead, so maybe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he knocked out. He
Oh
KO'd.
Lord, what you did to my boy?
Oh Lord.
But it's just so funny looking back. I'm like, damn, I've been with this man for this our 5th year now. And like, I care
Yeah.
about sports and I love it because it's so competitive and I can talk shit and like people get excited and just like the whole thing. So like with football, like, of course, we've been watching the Patriots and you know, everyone knows who Tom Brady is and the Patriots
Yeah.
were always in the Super Bowl. And like at the beginning, I hated Tom Brady. I'm like, fuck him. But now I'm like, wow, this man is great. Like he literally is just that good. And when I remember when Tom Brady decided to leave the Patriots, but he didn't want to, him and Bill Belichick fell out and it was a whole ego thing. And the thing is, I was like, EJ, this is what I said. I said, EJ, Tom Brady is the Patriots. I was like, watch. He's going to Tampa. I was like, he's going to be great. They're going to win. They're going to win. They're going to win. They're going to win. And then they make it to the Super Bowl. And I was like, oh, look, baby. I was like, they're going to win because they have Tom Brady, because Tom Brady is a Super Bowl. Now, for me, I just think it's just chance that it's in Florida because it's Corona and Florida's like one of the only states open right now. So that's why I think it was there. But I don't know, man. I just think Tom Brady is great. And it's just funny to me. I'm like, damn, Bill Belichick lost his cash cow over his fucking ego.
I mean, he thought he was the mastermind.
Thought he was the man, and he wasn't. Tom
The
Brady
thing
was
is, you still got to play. You still got to play, no matter how good your game plan is, Mr. Belichick. Tom Brady got to throw the ball.
That's what I'm saying.
Storyline.
But
That's
it
part
is
of the storyline in the
funny
narrative. That they
But I
wanna-
do like your
Last
conspiracy.
year-
Trey. I do love it.
No. Last year we watched the Super Bowl. It's Patrick Mahomes versus the 49ers, right?
Right.
One of my homies works in film and television. He's a director and he directs commercials. And he did a Super Bowl spot. And Patrick Mahomes was there. And there's a bunch of NFL reps. And this is before last season even started. And they were like, oh, hey, this is Patrick Mahomes. He's going to be our next Super Bowl champion. He's going to be our next MVP. And what was he? MVP. What was he? Super Bowl champion. So it's like, how did y'all were saying this like so matter of factly?
Yeah.
Like as if there's not a whole nother team playing, but they've been saying that this stuff was rigged. It's like WWE, looks real.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's all money. The NFL is all it's a fucking business at the end of the day. And what does America love? Capitalism.
The messed up part about that though is that they just dropped their charity status. Like they were a nonprofit.
The NFL was a nonprofit?
Yeah.
Was it?
How?
Yeah.
How, Sway?
I don't know. They got Jewish accountants or something. I don't know.
You're right. That makes sense.
They were a nonprofit, so they were getting like tax exemptions and stuff, and they actually just dropped that like recently.
I always want to get that shmoney. You know what? And this is what I want to say too. Though I believe that it's rigged, I don't believe that everybody's on board for the rigging, especially the other team. I think they're really trying to win, but the referees call it in a certain way where it benefits another team to give it a better chance of winning, to push their narrative. And I feel that that's the narrative they wanted to push all season. Belichick and Brady are no longer a thing. They're no longer a team. Who made the right decision? Who is better off without who? Bill Belichick didn't have a great season. He finished 7-9.
He sucked. Listen, Tom Brady is living in Florida, not paying taxes because in Florida you don't gotta pay fucking state taxes. That man is living his best life right now. The best thing he could have done was divorce.
And then here he go. Tom Brady goes to a different team. He has early struggles. They finally get it together and start clicking towards the end of the season. And they go on this run to the Super Bowl, which is in Tampa. And then they beat Patrick Mahomes. Like, come on now. I don't know.
You know what? It's because this man Tom Brady is on steroids.
He on something.
Tom Brady is a Trump supporter. Like everyone forgot about that shit.
No, nobody forgot.
And then they say, what was the name? Patrick Mahomes was talking bad about Trayvon Martin when all that went down.
Yeah, well, he's also kind of like, I'm gonna lean towards my white side, because he's biracial, so he can go either direction. Usually you're hella militant or you're totally white, and I think he chose the other side. I mean,
it's so interesting.
His mama white, so whatever.
It's so interesting, like in America, like it's one of the only places where it's like you have to choose. Like you could be multiracial, and in America forces you to choose which side you're gonna be on. It's like, I don't know. It's so interesting.
I know, right? Why can't you be both?
Exactly. It's weird, but I don't know. I think it goes back to slavery, but back to when the whole like one drop rule, the whole like for being black, it's like one drop makes you black.
Right. Yeah. To me, it's a paper bag test.
Yeah, just like that.
Right.
If you're Thurgood Marshall, you can pass, but which is messed up that they had my man Chadwick, RIP, play Thurgood Marshall, because it's like, what? This man's dark skin and Thurgood Marshall is light as light. So
they want to emphasize the fact he was black.
Yeah.
Right?
Real black. We trying to claim him hard. We claiming him hard.
Oh, but back to the Super Bowl. Did you guys hear about how Drake and the game were brawling?
What?
They got in a fight like
they
the night
fighting?
Before the Super Bowl. These niggas was fighting, brawling in the street or outside some bar or something.
Really?
Yes.
Drake in the game. I thought they was cool.
Who fucking knows? I love Drake.
I thought Drake was cool with everybody.
I love both of them, man. The game is one of my favorite rappers. Drake is one of my favorite artists.
I liked the game up until he
thought
started spitting the same freestyle every time. Like, bruh, say something else.
Man.
He on Run radio station. Yeah, and then I come through with the whoop whoop wop wop. And then next radio station, yeah, I come through with the wop wop whoop whoop. Like, wait, you gotta
Nah, I
switch it
feel
up
you.
for real.
And I didn't see that, but I definitely don't like when rappers do that, bro. Like I don't
There's
like
some
that.
spitting riddens when you're
I
supposed to be going
don't
off top
like,
of the
yeah, bro. When I always felt like Game could go off top though. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah,
love
he
this.
could. He's just being
Hey,
lazy.
I just want y'all to know the Game. I love you, bro. Drake, I love you, bro. Patrick Mahomes, I love you, bro. Tom Brady, I love you, bro. We don't hate y'all boys. We don't at all. I just wanted to say that.
I mean, we don't hate Tom Brady, but you need to pick a side, bro. You've been in the locker room with all of these people of color for over 20 years, 30 years if we going back to like your childhood and stuff. So, you know,
He from the Bay.
that's even worse. Like, bro, you supposed to be getting
Yeah.
hyphy.
You from California. You got no reason to be racist.
How you know he don't though? What if he get hyphy in private? What is
You know, it's funny because he did post a video on his Instagram because he's very social media active nowadays, and he posted this song. Damn, what was that song? It had the N-word in it, which is I was like, Tom Brady, what?
What?
Yeah.
He was just like you know, bragging basically
About being from the Bay. Who was he bragging on?
man, I'm gonna find it and then I'm gonna let y'all know.
All right, for sure. Well, let us know.
To be continued.
To be continued, and we're
To
going to
be
continue
continued.
on to the entree, y'all. So
Oh,
entree.
wait. No. Before we go to the entree, hold on.
Hold
This
on.
is a good little appetizer.
All right.
We got to talk about the Weeknd real quick.
That's what I was going to segue into.
Oh, I didn't know that was the
Yeah.
entree.
Come on, you just let me work. Let me work, Sheldon. Let me work.
All right.
The entree and what we're talking about is the influence that music, television has on society. And I was gonna bring up the Weeknd. I was. Why? Because he did the Super Bowl halftime show. Yes, he did. And it was amazing. And I love the Weeknd. I love his story. I love what he represents. He, for those who don't know, man, my man was homeless, sleeping on benches in the cold in Toronto. He went from that to performing halftime at the Super Bowl, one of the biggest stages in the world. In the world, y'all. In the world.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy because everyone kind of wants him to still perform that kind of music that got him on, you know, like House of Balloons and stuff, just the darker stuff, more melodic, but he's not in that place anymore.
He's
you
not.
know, like people have to progress. He was making that kind of music because that's the kind of life he was living. But now he's surrounded by models and millions of dollars. So it's like, I'm a star boy now. I don't know what
his life changed. And it's always this thing when it comes with, the fans and artists. Like a lot of the fans, we want you to be the same.
Mm-hmm.
We want you to be the same person we fell in love with. But it's like that's really selfish of us as fans, because it's like we all evolve as human beings. And it's like you just said, Willie, like he was in that dark space. So he made music and we resonated with that because a lot of us are in that dark space. And now that he's coming out of that and he's living his dreams and life is a lot more fruitful for him, his music is reflecting that. He's talking about love and other things. And, we want the old Weeknd because that's what we connected with. But we got to respect his evolution. And we got to understand that I feel like we should use that as inspiration. So we can evolve out of that dark space as well, and that's just the beauty of music and the influence that it has on us. The fact that we could relate to something so much and connect to it so much that we take it so personal that a person switch up their style.
Okay, so I found it.
What you found?
And it was actually from his Instagram. So he basically went through and posted like a long story. It's like 50 or some
Tom Brady.
clips. And he literally posts a series of hip-hop songs, which is funny because like I cannot imagine Tom Brady listening to the game, yet Hate It or Love It was one of his posts.
Of course.
So it's like his first post was "Bring 'Em Out" by T.I. Bring 'em out, bring 'em out.
Right.
And then it was straight to the bank with this ha 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 ha, that 50 Cent.
Right.
And then some Joyner Lucas, some Wale, some AB, a whole lot of money. You know, like it's crazy. And then the game, trophies. It was Many Men was the post I saw. It was him holding the trophy, and then he plays that 50 Cent, Many Men wish death upon me. Yeah,
bro. And that's just a tribute to the power and influence of hip hop, bro.
I know, right?
That's so fucking strange to me though. Like that's what I'm seeing her making this space. Like, why the fuck is Tom Brady posting shit like that on his Instagram? He don't listen to that shit, bro.
You know,
like
he probably do.
But he does.
I could see why he would, because those songs are like songs of redemption. Like you thought I was out. No, I'm here at the top.
But he does, but it pisses me off because I'm like, you're over here listening to his music and then you're supporting Trump, like, bruh. And I think that's the part that pisses me off. I'm like, this is so strange.
But you got to pick a side.
Pick a fucking side. I don't like that.
But I mean, I guess that's another thing with humanity. We just always want people to choose a side. You know, it's like we wanted Tiger Woods to be black, and he never wanted to be.
Even Patrick
Mahomes. Circle back.
Yeah. So, you know, it's wild. If y'all get a chance to watch that Tiger doc on HBO, it's fire.
For sure. We will. But the influence of music, y'all.
Let me speak on the Weeknd real quick.
Go ahead. Speak on the Weeknd.
Okay, so many things to say. So first of all, Abel, if you're listening, hey boo. But me, I have been a Weeknd fan since the beginning, like 2011. Like I remember coming to SCAD in September 2011 and meeting folks and them introducing me to him. And that was like before people knew who he was, before he even posted his face online. Like, that whole dark, and I completely fell in love with that man. I fell in love with him so much so.
Oh, damn.
Wow.
Yeah, I was in deep. So I was listening to his music from 2011.
That's a tattoo. For those just listening, she has an XO tattoo.
An XO tattoo and
on her forehead.
For those of you who don't know what that stands for, I'm not going to say. You go Google it.
Yeah.
But it doesn't actually mean XO.
It's hugs and kisses.
But then I guess 2015, 2016 is when he became mainstream or he blew up. And that's when his sound started to change. And for me personally, like I'm guilty of everything y'all just talked about. I don't want you to evolve. I need you to stay the same. I need your sound to be the same. Like, but I think about it, I'm like, okay, it's not that selfish, because if you think about great artists like Michael Jackson, like yes, his sound changed and he evolved as an artist over time, but he had a distinct sound to him, which is who the Weeknd was heavily influenced by. That was one of his heavy influences. If you go back and listen to his old stuff, he has a song called Dirty Diana, which is a Michael Jackson song. And I don't know, I guess for me it's just like, even though like yes, I want you to evolve because I am an artist and I'm evolving and I'm human, so I definitely get it, but even like it just feels like his whole genre and the people that he's making music with is different. Like he used to make music with Drake and fucking XO people and all these people, and now he's making music with Ariana Grande and like all these pop people that I don't listen to. That's not my music style. So then I'm like, I feel like I gotta cross over my music. Not to say that I don't enjoy some Ariana Grande songs, but generally her style is not the Weeknd in my mind. And maybe because I have him as this person in my mind that was 10 years ago now. But I don't know.
Well, first of all, he's coked out of his mind. Like, what?
Well, obviously.
Did you see him? Like, he's like,
listen, I watched the performance this morning because I hadn't seen it. I was working when it happened, but I was like, but that's who he is. Like, I can't feel my face when I'm with you. That nigga's talking about being so high on coke that he can't Feel his face. And I mean, so I'm like, he's making somewhat like, yes, he is evolving. He's making love music and other subjects, but he's still talking about drugs heavily, and he's still
his subject matter is the same,
but he's
but
making
the
music with these
sound
pop
is
people that I
totally
don't
different.
fuck with. I'm like,
Although that Ariana Grande documentary was kind of fire though.
I do kind of want to watch that though. I do like that song Positions by her. Like she does have some.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I'm not bashing her, but I'm just saying they're two different genres in my mind, and he's now in hers.
Side note, would you let your kid listen to Ariana Grande?
Who you asking me?
Both of y'all.
I don't have kids, so I can't answer that question. Like me and my selfish state, like hell yeah. But then I'm like, oh, as a mother, like
I mean, honestly, bro.
Do you want your daughter walking around saying you got me walking side to side because your dick too big and it's got me walking all crooked?
Did she say that?
Yeah, it's the whole song.
She did, but the way she says it, you don't realize that's what she's saying.
Yeah.
Oh wow!
Like, oh, got me moving side to side.
Yeah, she's just as nasty as Meg Thee Stallion. People just don't realize it.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. But I feel like just like we were talking about maybe a couple episodes ago, even with like cartoons, like they put shit in, you can't really escape it. You just have to worry about mothering and parenting your kids, because everything as far as media has sexuality and violence and all these things that kill the innocence of a child. Like it's there.
It's there, man. And music, I believe, is the most influential tool on the planet, because of the vibrations coming from, and we are humans, we're made up of so much water. Vibration, sound affects water, it affects us, it affects our mood. And I feel like music can either be used to create or destroy, empower or lead astray, and I see it so many times, with especially in college, like when the whole, oh gosh, I don't want to call it a thing, because it's always been a thing in music with everyone talking about drugs, but with the Futures and everybody else coming up with the drug talk, I just seen a shift, because I remember like in middle school, high school, like it was more so the dance stuff, people was dancing, we having fun. Then it went from that to like
pop, lock, and drop it.
Right, it went from that to like drugs, and now everybody is on drugs. Like I have a homeboy who like started listening to that music heavily, even like with Wiz Khalifa with smoking weed, which is not wrong with it. I definitely advocate for that. But what I'm saying is people who usually don't do that stuff get so influenced by the music that they adapt that into their lifestyles. And it's crazy because a lot of these artists sometimes, most of the time, I believe, don't even really be living what they talk about.
Sober as fuck, dog.
Right. They be sober as hell in the studio talking about how fucked up they is on Xans and Molly's and all this other stuff. But then we got these people listening to this and vibing with it so much because they so hurt. They don't know how to cope with their pain. They turn into this shit. And it's like destroying their fucking lives. And I've seen it time and time again. That shit just horrible to me, bro. Like, that's why me as a musician, I always feel like I have to bring balance, because I appreciate that type of music and I appreciate what it represents in the grand scheme of things
from an entertainment standpoint.
Right. Yeah. So I do appreciate it because I'm not bashing it. But what I'm saying is we definitely need more balance to balance it out. And I try to be one of those people that add balance to it, because music is so influential, even when it comes to the gangster rap and stuff like that. I know folks who don't live that life, never lived that life, didn't have to live that life, but they so influenced by the music, and these rappers are their father figures, that they adopt that lifestyle and they end up becoming destroyed by it. It's just crazy to me, y'all, but it's just the influence of music, man.
But I ain't gonna lie though, Drake had a line that he was like, I did half a Xan, 13 hours till I land, had me out like a light.
Hey.
Like, yo, that is so true. I ain't gonna lie, dog. I took half a Xan on my flight. I had a 9-hour flight. I popped that mug as soon as I sat down. I opened my eyes. They're like, "Sir, we're here." Like, what? Oh,
sir, we've arrived.
Yo, like this the move.
Hey, let me ask you, did you know about that before Drake said that?
I knew very little about Xanax. I actually that's not true. I knew a decent amount because I went to art school, so those white kids were popping pills like crazy, and B, one of my closest homeboys, he takes it prescribed. So I know that it has a calming effect, but I never knew that it could literally put you out like that.
Like, hey, like that.
Yo,
Hey,
I'm
that's just so
telling you,
fire too.
right? Like, I was like, yo, Drake, you are telling the truth, my guy.
Mm-hmm. He probably
But
did do
I
that.
mean, how y'all feel about Drake in general, though?
Drake in
Well,
general.
listen, bitches love Drake, so that's all I gotta say.
Hey, I love Drake, man. I'm not gonna lie. I went to a concert of his. It was the Paradise one.
I've
Oh,
never
really?
been to one.
I never been to a
Bruh,
Drake
he
show either.
is a performer. Like,
My sister had.
Mm.
he is a performer. Like, this man pranced across the stage. And I was like, wow, bro, this man really putting on a show for us. And this was the show when he introduced Kendrick Lamar, ASAP Rocky. Like, they opened up for him. That's before
Oh
they
wow.
blew. So I got to see all of that. It was magic. And his music, of course, is just magic. They always, people try to give him a bad rap about, oh, he didn't write this either. I don't give a fuck, boy.
He
Man, his
performed it.
story,
That's all that
right? He
matters.
performed it, and I can tell that even if he has people writing, he writes enough of his stuff for him to
Yeah.
get the respect that he deserves because
Right.
he's told us his story. He continuously tell us his story,
Mhm.
and it's like I don't think nobody can write that for you. I mean, but I don't
Nah.
know, but it just seems so heartfelt and genuine. I appreciate him for that. Like, he got bars though. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
he got them songs that we vibe to and that the women like, but Drake got bars, bruh.
Yeah,
They
he
be
do.
sleeping on my man with the bar. I've been on Drake back when, like, when you Google Drake, like 3 songs, not Google, but YouTube Drake, like 3 songs came up. I remember Ransom was one, and it was like 2 other ones. Closer to My Dreams. It was like 2, 3 songs came up when you Google him, and I just randomly stumbled across him on a humbug. I was just listening to random music, and I was like, "Oh boy, who is this with Lil Wayne?" I was like, "Boy, this man
Yeah.
hard." And
Yeah.
I might have caught that when it first came out because he had a project out before then. You know what I'm saying? He was
Yeah.
doing songs with like a lot of local artists from Toronto too. And like I was like, boy, this man hard. But every song he been on with everybody else, I'm like, boy, nah, he hard. Everybody else
That's how I
straight.
found out about the Weeknd. Drake
Right.
put the
Yeah.
Weeknd on, and that's how I found the people I was around. But that's what it was.
But you know the story with that, right? Like the Take Care album,
Right.
that's Drake's album.
Mm-hmm.
But all of those songs came from the Weeknd.
Wow.
That's why that's that one song. It's like, take your nose off my keyboard.
Yeah.
What you
The
bothering
crew.
me for? Yeah,
True
the
love,
Crew Love.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Listen, that
yeah, yeah.
song is
Crew
what
Love.
kind of
That was the
that
Weeknd song.
changed. Yeah, that
Mm.
God, that was such an
And
era though,
that's part of
man.
the reason why the Weeknd didn't sign with Drake and they had a falling out because
They did fall out.
Drake was basically using the Weeknd for his music, and the Weeknd's like, I like you, we're from the same place, you're on now, I'm trying to get on, so I'm gonna work with you. But he realized like, oh, he's just taking my songs and putting a verse on them and calling them his, and that's not really what I'm into. And I
Mm-hmm.
guess because he hooked them up, Drake was under the assumption that, oh, I can sign this guy, when really it's like y'all are two kings on the same level,
Right.
So that was never going to happen, but that was always the assumption. But you always hear that music and you're like, wow, this flows so well, and then Drake gets on it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like,
I like them two together though.
I miss them together. They don't make music anymore together.
yeah,
It's so sad. It's
I
like,
know. But
but
once this pop star phase of the Weeknd's over, I think he'll go back to
and
that.
that's what I said. I was like, you know what? The Weeknd is such a great artist. I feel like this is just a time. Just has to go through this as part of his story, and then he's gonna come back to who he really is. Because I don't hate him. I just don't.
Yeah.
His current what he's doing right now, I don't really fuck with it. And I'm gonna
Mhm.
let him do his thing and come back around.
Yeah.
But
I
as far
mean,
as Drake, like, I love Drake, and people like Drake, he has this one verse. I can't even remember what song it is, but he's just like, the record companies didn't think they could market my sound.
Yeah.
Because he really, I feel like he really changed the music game. Like Drake raps, but then he sings, but he's not a singer. He does this weird singing thing that kind of fucking works, but it's rapping. And then he still, like you said, like he still got bars, but then he still makes shit that women love. And then he makes music with all these different artists, and he's consistently just putting out quality work.
Right.
And it's funny because that's how most artists get on. Like they get a song with Drake. No one knows the new artist's part. They only know Drake's part. It becomes Drake's song. Like Versace. That's how Migos came out. And then radio is only playing Drake's part.
Right.
It'll be like 2 seconds of them saying Versace. And then
listen, I got a funny ass story with that. So y'all all know my dear friend Michelle. She tells me this funny story about it was one summer she was working at some event in Atlanta that Drake was performing at or was at. And this was before anyone knew who Migos was, but she's a DJ, she's a music person. So she had one of their mixtapes and she just gave it to Drake. And then shortly after that, Migos fucking blew up.
Wow.
And of course, we don't know if that's what actually happened. Drake could have knew who they were, but it's such a dope story to think like, damn, maybe, just maybe.
We need to reach out to Drake, be like, hey, we know who, or reach out to Migos, say, we know who put y'all on now.
Yes.
Because you know they live out here in LA.
Oh shit. Oh, that's right. Cardi B always does post their house and shit, and they be here.
Like Cardi has a house in Atlanta, of course, but most of the time they're out here. Like I think it was in 2018. I saw Migos at like 4 different events. Like y'all are just always out here,
just hanging,
just chilling. But would you choose Atlanta over Los Angeles?
I don't know. They smoke a lot of fucking weed.
I know. We know Clay would.
Get that LA money and come down south where it's cheaper.
You already know, but I might mess with Texas, to be quite honest.
Texas too.
Well, Texas, you don't got to pay state taxes, just like Florida.
Yeah, I love Texas. It's real chill. Get guap nonstop.
Big guap nonstop. Man, guess what?
What's up, dog?
I don't know, man. I truthfully don't know, man. I truthfully don't know. We were supposed to be talking about the influence of music and film and television, but I don't know, man.
Well, I told you that was very broad.
It was sprinkled in there. It was sprinkled in there, so I guess it was like it kind of counts, though, right? Because it's our. We talked about, I guess, how it influences us and what we think about it. Does it technically count? Okay,
let me ask you guys this. I got a good question.
All right.
So, growing up, what kind of music did y'all listen to? Like, honestly, gospel. All music.
Yeah.
But
gospel, old,
primarily gospel.
NSYNC. I was a huge NSYNC fan.
Yeah, lots of boy band stuff.
Yeah.
Backstreet and NSYNC, honestly.
For some reason, I felt like I had to choose.
That's literally where I was going with this conversation. So yes, growing up, of course, we're Black, so we listen to hip hop and all that, and then we're from the South, so we listen to gospel. But me personally, like I think when I became a teenager, I started getting into rock music because I discovered rock. I had never really heard rock music until I was like, unless you're out and about. But I started hanging out with, and that's kind of when the internet came about, so you could search shit.
Yeah,
and I really got into bands like Evanescence and
because
Amy Lee, that bitch can sing. She can
sing.
blow. Her voice is God is amazing. But as a young Black kid in the South, I felt like I had to choose because I didn't want to be like that white girl. So I couldn't let people know I was listening to this rock music, but I really enjoyed it. It was so good. And then, of course, when I got older, I realized that Black people created all music, like rock was stolen from Black people, and I'm like, wow, I was actually listening to some shit that we created. So it's cool. It's okay.
And it's funny you say that because I was thinking like, but that was such a golden era of rock. Like,
the
2000s to like 2010, maybe
the early 2000s.
Early 2000s.
Because I would say when I got to SCAD in 2011, that's when I just stopped. It changed. It was
different. It's because rock music as we know it is not the rock that was started. And since rock music
Right.
got adopted by other cultures, i.e., white people, we stopped messing with it. We stopped creating in it, and that's why it's not popular anymore because it's not coming from us. Hip hop is the new rock and roll. It's the most popular music out
In the
there.
world.
It's pop music.
But really, like Lil Wayne, one great thing about Lil Wayne, because the thing is, kids today, like y'all don't know the Lil Wayne that we knew. I saw this meme. It was so funny. It was like old Lil Wayne beside new Lil Wayne with the blonde, his locks falling out and shit. And it was like the Lil Wayne y'all know versus the Lil Wayne we know.
Yeah.
But Lil Wayne, one thing that he did, he merged rock. He brought rock artists in. He played the fucking guitar. He showed the visuals in his videos, and like it just felt like a golden era for rock.
And, you know,
I saw Travis Barker perform with Lil Wayne.
Wow.
Live.
man, didn't Jay-Z do that before him with Linkin Park?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, they did during that era when Linkin. Oh, I loved
And
Linkin
then
Park.
even before that, on Run
R.I.P.
DMC, they did a collab with
Aerosmith.
There you go.
Oh,
There you
that's
go.
right.
That because the original Walk This Way was lame, and then Run DMC got on it, and that's the Walk This Way we know. Walk this way, talk this way. Yeah, that was hard. And that also introduced hip hop artists branding, like branding merch and stuff, because Adidas came through, and that's why they was rocking the 3-stripe everything. So
Absolutely.
you know, a little history lesson for y'all kids out there.
I know, right? Man,
that's wild.
My weed order is on the way.
Music. We good on this topic, y'all? Y'all want to move on?
Yeah, we good on that.
We good. We good on that.
I've had enough of that.
All right. So guess what? We're gonna get into some dessert. Y'all tell me something sweet. Yo, weed coming.
Oh, wait. Coming. That's sweet.
No, we just did the entree.
Yeah, man.
That's what's up.
I actually do have something sweet that happened.
What's that?
So I actually did my my ancestry.com.
They gonna clone you, Sheridan.
Right. That's why I didn't do it. Like I've been wanting to do it.
I was just messing with you. I did
steal
it
my
too.
DNA, like all this shit. But I was like, you know what? I have a fucking iPhone. Like they know already.
You've been to the doctor.
Right.
Exactly. I'm like, either way, living in 2021, they got my shit somehow, some way. And so I did my DNA, my ancestry.com, and it's so funny because so I have hella siblings. Like I got a big ass family, but some of my siblings have the same mom and some have the same dad. So I was able to go into my sisters who has the same mom and then one of my brothers who has the same dad and put them side by side to see who I got from what. Because they don't tell you what part you got from which parent.
Yeah.
But it's so interesting. So I'll tell you guys, I got 33% Nigerian. So need to go take a trip to see my cousins.
Straight up.
I got 17% Mali. Now I actually don't know where Mali is. I need to look at a map, but
Mali is like it's west. It's like on the west.
Oh, on the west side. Is it by Nigeria?
Kinda.
Okay.
Hold on.
That was there. And then of course the England, Northwestern Europe, but that was only like 10%.
Man, that's more than me. I'm about to tell you mine, man. Go ahead.
Oh, you did yours too?
I did. I ain't gonna lie.
And then I got a little Scottish and Irish.
So
and
it's west of Nigeria. Yeah. Oh no, that's Niger. I'm tripping.
It's northwest.
It's northwest. Yeah, I'm tripping. Yeah, it is northwest. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Sheridan.
I was just saying. So I got 4% Scottish and Irish, but then I got Southern Bantu peoples. I got Senegal, and I got. Wait, hold on. Here we go. Okay, so I said Nigerian. That was the thing I was missing. So Nigerian was 33%, and then Cameroon, Congo, and Western Bantu people was 20%. And then Mali was 17%. And then I got Benin and Togo. I got Senegal and I got Southern Bantu peoples. And then I got a little England, Scottish, and Irish.
Mm-hmm.
But then what was cool too is they broke down. They showed me, of course, my people are from South Carolina and North Carolina, and they showed me like just like the migration and everything.
How they know all this?
What do you mean?
How do they know like these facts?
Like how the DNA works
They take your DNA and compare it to DNA of people in those regions.
No,
in
I
the
mean
world?
like how y'all migrated and stuff.
Well, history too. So they know that most of the slaves came from, I guess, God, my fucking geography. Either way, just the patterns. They know that most of the slave ships came in, or basically from my DNA, they know that the slave ship that my people were on went to South and North Carolina, based on history and I guess whatever was in my DNA. And then they give you fact, like they tell you, like most African Americans in the community can trace their ancestry back to West Africa and present day Republic of Cameroon, Congo, blah, 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 blah. And it says over a 200-year period, many were enslaved and brought to North Carolina to work on small farms. And then it just talks about the history. So I guess that's how they do it.
Right.
Okay. Because like a lot of like, you know how they just like kind of generalize like, oh, all slaves came from Africa, but it's like, no, a lot of slaves were picked up on the way over here from Brazil, Caribbean, some indigenous people that were already here.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because they show you, like, they'll show you your matches, and I can see like second cousins who have other things. Like I have one, I think it's my fourth cousin from my dad. She lives in Louisiana, and it shows me, it compares my chart to hers. And in her chart, she has like 1% from Central America, but I didn't have that in mind. So it's so interesting because it can show you people that have a little bit of what you have, but what they also have.
Right. My joint, 30% Cameroon, Congo. 27%,
oh shit, we cousins.
You feel me? 27% Nigerian. 24% Mali. I resonate the most with Mali for some reason. 7% Benin and Togo. 5% Senegal. 4% England, Northwestern Europe. 3% Ireland, which is true. Because my great granddaddy was Irish and black. So I was like, okay, got a little Irish in there.
But that's interesting because your people originated in Georgia, right, Clay?
My mom, on my mom's side.
On your mom's side. What about your dad's side?
My pops, as far as I know with them, they started off in Arkansas.
Oh,
no,
shit.
Kansas. Wichita, Kansas, and then they moved to the Bay Area in California.
Ah, wow. Well, what I was gonna say is that it's interesting that me and you have very similar ancestry, but my people are from North Carolina and South Carolina, and your mom's people are from Georgia. So being right there, it would make sense, I guess.
Yeah, I guess it would make sense.
You know, since we're talking about family histories and stuff, I found out that Angela Bassett is my cousin.
Which cousin?
What?
So Angela Bassett, she was on a show called Finding Our Roots, and she found out that she was related to Samuel Slater Stokes, right? Okay. And I'm looking at a picture of him right now. He looks just like Angela Bassett, and he was her grandfather, and he was my dad's cousin technically, because it was my dad's dad, my granddad. That was his brother.
Wow.
So my granddad is Beachy Stokes, and her granddad is Samuel Slater Stokes.
So your granddads are siblings?
Yes, exactly.
Ah.
So it's crazy to
so dope.
Like, wow, you literally look just like my granddad. You look like my dad. You look like me.
Wow, that's so cool, Willie.
I know. I kind of want to like find a way to reach out to her. Like, yeah, we both in LA. What's up?
Yes, we cousins. Come through, cousin.
Queen, if you're listening, reach out to my boy Willie, Queen.
Yo,
yes,
come on,
queen.
cuz.
Such a queen.
Let's link, man. I don't even want nothing from you. I just want to meet you.
Yes, love
But you
her.
know, everybody that's somebody got a cousin.
Cousin. I'll tell you
But I
guys
got
another interesting.
paperwork.
I'll tell y'all one more interesting fact before we close this out. So,
Yeah.
you know, on Ancestry.com, it'll show you all of like your distant cousins, all the people you're related to around the world, where everyone is. So I look at the map and I see a cousin in Egypt, in Africa. And I'm like, huh. And I click on her and she's like my first cousin. I'm like, what? Because most everyone else I saw was like fourth, you know, like pretty far back. But this is my first cousin hanging out in Africa. So I look and her last name is a last name that I know. And I'm like, what? So I messaged my family immediately and they're like, wait, what? Like no one, this would be a close cousin that no one knows about. So my mom is like, yeah, I do remember as a kid, one of my cousins bringing through, and she's half white too. That's the thing in her ancestry. I'm like, so somebody went and had a kid and didn't tell nobody. So then my mom is just like, I remember as a kid, her small town in South Carolina, this cousin bringing his white girlfriend to visit the small town. Like that would make sense because this woman looks like she's in her early 40s, so she'd be born in the 70s. And I'm like, that makes sense. If they came to visit in the 60s, then 10 years later,
boom.
And Ancestry has a disclaimer. It says DNA evidence may support or contradict other forms of evidence and may point to different sources of evidence. Other possible relationships between people should also be considered.
It's funny you say that because I have a friend here in LA right now that just did Ancestry, and she found out that her grandma isn't related to her.
Wow.
And they're like, yo, how is this possible? Come to find out, the guy that she thought was her dad is not her dad.
Wow.
And everybody knows except for the dad.
Oh!
So it's like, yo, what?
Oh, shit.
Wow.
That's some tea.
That's tea.
That's tea. Some tea.
Well, that's some hot, sweet, juicy tea.
Listen, Ancestry don't be lying. Your DNA will not fucking lie to you.
Oh man, you see girls be running backstage on Mari. Like,
yeah.
I am 10,000% sure, Mari.
Right.
That's my baby daddy. Like, oh.
Mari, you are not the father.
Like,
niggas be like breakdancing and shit.
Bro, they such dicks though. They follow them. They follow the girl as she run backstage. I think that the whole time, like I would feel like a dick just running behind somebody with a camera as they crying.
I know. Them cameramen
messed up.
Dog. They need Indies because they be walking, running perfect. Them girls
feel like they got to train before. Like the cameramen got to do training before.
Like crawl through this sandbox, jump over this wall
with the camera, with the steady camera.
You gotta keep them in subject, man.
You gotta keep them in the frame, man.
Oh my gosh. Oh man, that was some sweet dessert, y'all.
Oh my god.
Man, where we gonna get the people to go, man? What's the final thoughts? Laugh, nigga. This was a funny episode.
This was a fun episode.
Laugh more. You know, It's not that serious, man. Lighten up.
Laughter is medicine, y'all. Just laugh.
It literally keeps you alive. It adds days to your life. The more you laugh, the less stress you have. You live longer.
Every giggle is a minute.
That's why being around low vibration people, bad energy people, will end your life sooner.
It will. It really will.
I'm just laughing at that hit you just took in the middle of your sentence. Like you was like, vibration people had to let that out. Hey man, y'all gotta go on YouTube, watch the video if y'all just listening to it, man. But hey, beautiful people, I want to thank y'all for tuning in to the kitchen table. It's a pleasure, as it always is, to be doing this show with y'all. Thank you. Yes, man. We have Trelani back next week, y'all. We excited about that too. So reunited, we shall be.
And it feels so good.
Hey. Yeah. So guess what, people? Until next time. And oh yeah, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel and follow us on all of the streaming platforms where you listen to your podcast. This is the kitchen table. Until next time. Peace.
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 And hair grease.